Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time to delve right into another gamebook adaptation. Now legend has it that long ago, in the far dawning of time, there was an ancient age when many children lived in families who could not afford any kind of computer, and thus gamebooks, that is, a book that was both a story and a game, were remarkably popular. They were even a magnificent introduction into the world of role-playing, and there were many gamebook series. There was Fighting Fantasy was the most famous, followed by Lone Wolf. Then you had Way of the Tiger, Golden Dragon, Tunnels and Trolls, the Sagard the Barbarian series. There was even the Choose Your Own Adventure books, but they didn't really count because they didn't have any gameplay elements in them. Grail Quest was actually a popular series as well. And then, what was it? There was that other series. There were a few Lone Wolf tie-ins of like, was it Grey Star or something? And then there's a series that's momentarily eluding me. However, one such series was the Fabled Lands series. And here we are. We've got a computer version, so I'm absolutely going to play it. I've been waiting day after day, month after month for it to come out of early access. Now originally, I never actually got into the Fabled Lands when they were published the first time round, because I was too busy playing Lone Wolf and Way of the Tiger and learning to play Warhammer Fantasy Battle 4th edition and studying for my GCSEs. And for those of you who are very, very young, GCSEs were an exam that is between it's a bit lower than an A-level. You had CSEs, which were certificate, you had General Certificate of Education, then General Certificate of Secondary Education, then you had A-levels, then you had degrees. And now, of course, we've got like GNVQs, which stands for Generally Not Very Qualified, NVQs, which stands for Not Very Qualified, and NDs, which are National Diplomas, which are like a third of a degree, HNDs, which are like 2/3 of a degree, and then you've still got your degrees and diplomas up at the top. So times have changed a little bit. But anyway, I only found out about the Fabled Lands about 5 or 10 years ago, and I gave them a bit of a try. I had lots of fun. I played a priest, I went and, got a kiss from a mermaid, visited the sea people, rescued some important artifact, dealt with the Blood Thursday Beast, which is a pun that only really works with a Midlands accent, because then you can say Blood Thursday Beast instead of Thursday, and it sounds more like thirsty. That's actually a nice little one. I talked to one of the authors about this very thing of the Blood Thursday Beast at a convention a few years back. When we were allowed to meet each other and go outside our houses. And he said that actually the idea for that literally came from one of the author's children, who was asked, can you think of a name for a monster I should put in his book? And the child said, the Blood Thursday Beast. And he said, don't you mean bloodthirsty? And the child said, no, Blood Thursday, because it only comes on Thursday. So there you have it. That's the origin of that horrific creature. Now, I've probably faffed for far too long. Let's dive in here and have some fun. So we have some character creation. I'm going to go look through options here. I'm going to look at all the options, okay? We have characters. So we have characteristics. We have charisma, combat, magic, sanctity, scouting, and thievery. I'm not sure if this origin is class specific. So we have the warrior, who is primarily good at combat. Bit of sanctity, okay. The mage. Also, I don't know if we can change these, or if we're just stuck with the class specific one. The mage is obviously good at magic and a bit of scouting. The priest is mostly sanctity with a bit of charisma and scouting. The rogue is someone who invests in a lot of beetroot coloured hair dye. Good at charisma with a bit of magic and combat. Oh, thievery, yep. The wayfarer, so that's kind of like a ranger. Yes, so the backgrounds are specific. The troubadour, so a minstrel or bard. So we've got warrior, mage, priest, rogue, wayfarer, troubadour. Let's take a look. So these are the boys. Let's take a look at the girly versions. That's an extremely ginger warrior. So she's remarkably similar to the masculine version. Yeah. And these are reasonable counterparts. Oh, yeah, okay. So they are. I think they're going to look quite similar. I see the beetroot coloured hair products are still popular with those of the knavish scoundrel community. You know, I think I will go give the priest or priestess a try again. Because that was fun last time. We have Curse. So, it's my understanding that this is an extremely faithful adaptation of the first 2 books in the Fabled Lands series. And Fabled Lands was quite unique in that it was a very open world feel with no grand quest, but rather you would roam around the world dealing with the things that you could, gaining experience points, gain levels, and go on to further adventures, and each book covered a particular region. Now, because of its open world, rather zoomed out feel, it was more like a... events are described in a bit less detail, and you're looking at things through a larger lens. This was done in a few of the Tunnels and Trolls solos, but not all of them, in that they tended to dwell less on details as well. Yeah, I'm liking this one. We'll call her Omule. Yeah, that's nice. So we have the Curse. 5-turn cooldown range, number of uses. Bring down divine disfavor upon one enemy. Target suffers -3 offense and -3 defense for 5 turns. And it's got a 5-turn cooldown, so we can just keep doing that all the time. And Cleansing Flame. Hurl a pillar of fire down upon one enemy. Deals maximum weapon damage. If target is cursed, deals 120% weapon damage instead, so even more. Hopefully we'll get some other powers, but these are good ones for now. So yeah, it's my understanding this is an extremely faithful adaptation of the first 2 books in the series. The series so far contains, I believe, 7 books, and I have the first 4 on a bookshelf upstairs. And while it's a faithful adaptation of the adventures, the conflict resolution system and the fight system is somewhat different. This game has been playtested by private playtesters for a few months now, and now it's finally out in early access, and Omule here is going to go and have a wonderful adventure. Oh, look at that map. That is gorgeous. The nostalgia right here in my heart, you know? And we can expect me to be completely inept and suffer a lot of trouble. Exploration. Welcome to the Fabled Lands. Read through the text and make a choice to progress the story. Yeah, I've played game books before, but hey, you know, some of you guys watching might not have done, so sure. So we are upon the Isle of Druids. The approach of dawn has turned the sky a milky grey-green like jade. The sea is a luminous pane of silver. Holding the tiller of your sailing boat, you keep your gaze fixed on the glittering constellation known as the Spider. It marks the north, and by keeping it to port, you know you are still on course. The sun appears in a trembling burst of red fire at the rim of the world. Slowly, the chill of night gives way to brazen warmth. You lick your parched lips. There is a little water sloshing in the bottom of the barrel by your feet, but not enough to see you through another day. Sealed in a scroll case tucked into your jerkin is the parchment map your grandfather gave you on his deathbed. You remember his stirring tales of far sea voyages, of kingdoms beyond the western horizon, of sorcerous islands and ruined palaces filled with treasure. As a child, you dreamed of nothing else but the magical quests that were in store for you too became an adventurer. You never expected to die in an open boat before your adventures even began. Securing the tiller, you unroll the map and study it again. You hardly need to. Every detail is etched into your memory by now. According to your reckoning, you should have reached the east coast of Lacuna, the great continent, days ago. A pasty grey blob appears onto the map. After a moment of stunned surprise, you look up and curse the seagull circling directly overhead. Then it strikes you. Where there's a seagull, there may be land. You leap to your feet and scan the cliffs and scan the horizon. Sure enough, a line of white cliffs lie a league to the north. Have you been sailing along the coast all this time without realizing the mainland was so close? Steering towards the cliffs, you feel the boat judder against rough waves. A howling wind whips plumes of spindrift across the sea. Breakers pound the high cliffs. The tiller is yanked out of your hands. The little boat is spun around, out of control, and goes plunging in towards the coast. You leap clear at the last second. There is a snap of timber, the roaring crescendo of the waves, and then silence as you go under. Striking out wildly, you try to swim clear of the razor-sharp rocks. For a while, the undertow threatens to drag you down, then suddenly a wave catches you and flings you contemptuously up onto the beach. Battered and bedraggled, you lie gasping for breath until you hear someone walking along the shore towards you. Wary of danger, you lose no time in getting to your feet. Confronting you is an old man clad in a dirty loincloth. His eyes have a feverishly bright look that is suggestive of either a mystic or a madman. It's time to begin your adventure.
Well, well, well. What have we here, friends?
Asks the old man. He seems to be talking to someone next to him, although you're certain he is alone.
Looks like a washed-up adventurer to me, he says in answer to his own question. All wet and out of luck.
He carries on having a conversation that quickly turns into a heated debate. He is clearly quite mad. Excuse me, excuse me, you shout over the hubbub in an attempt to grab the old man's attention. He stops and stares at you. Is this the Isle of the Druids? You ask impatiently.
Indeed it is, says the old man. I see that you are from a far land, so it is up to me to welcome you to Lacuna. But I think you may have much to do here, as it is written in the stars that someone like you would come. Your destiny awaits you. Follow me, young adventuress.
The old man turns smartly about and begins walking up a path towards some hills. You can just see some sort of monolithic structure atop one of them. I want to follow him, scour the remnants washed ashore. He's walking off. He might... What are shards? Oh, they're the money, aren't they? We have 9 stamina. That's our health. I will follow him for now. I probably won't be able to come back, but hey. Objective tracker. Do these govern my leveling up? Is this like an experience system? During your short trip upward, the old man regales you with tales of your destiny and fate, continuously arguing with himself as he does so. It's almost as if many possible destinies and fates lie ahead of us, and he does not know which are to come true. Exploration. Click on any of the available map locations in order to move your character. Oh, that's nice. We have the obsidian stones, but let's take a look at these. So that's the book. And this is not the book. This would be character sheets. Oh, this is very colourful. This is your inventory. Every item you pick up is stored here. Right-click on items in your inventory to find out what you can do with them. Wonderful. So we have combat stats, which are derived from these. This is new. So in the original Fabled Lands, you just had these stats, and you were pretty much rolling 2d6 plus the stat, or 2d6 and trying to get equal to or under, or something like that, right? D6 being normal 6-sided dice. The kind you get in a board game, like Monopoly or something like that. Here we have combat stat. Offense, defense. So defense comes from things like armor and other things. Offense, chance of hitting. 5 to 15 looks less like a chance of hitting and more like a damage range to me. Stamina, that's how much we can take before we die. Action points, used in combat. Remember, we have a different combat system here. Damage you inflict when successfully hitting me. Okay, so 5 to 15%, so 5 to 15 chance of hitting. So our chance of hitting varies. So would I be saying like we deduct defense from offense? So that would be a 1 to 11 chance of hitting ourselves. That's a possibility. Critical hit chance, that's a nice chance to block. I'd like to work on this character has no blessings. Or resurrection deals. We have cures and diseases. No cures or diseases. Wonderful. And these... Unlock progression. So I don't think these are achievements. I think these are literally... objectives log, yeah... These look like achievements, but... I'm sure we will find all of them useful at some point or other. For now, can I scroll around the island? Yes, I can. This is beautiful artwork, by the way. I love this. It's not necessarily what I envisaged when I originally experienced the gamebooks. The artwork was by... was it Russ Nicholson, I think? I can't remember. Lovely pictures. But this is already looking very... Can I go here? No, I can't. Let's just go to the stones then. Stonehenge, where the demons dwell, where the banshees live, and they do live well. You know it had to happen. You reach a hill covered with a circle of large obsidian standing stones. Despite the bitter wind that blows across these hills, the stones are unweathered and seem almost newly lain. Here are the gates of the world, says the old man. The stones are laid out in such a way that they form 3 archways, each carved with mystic symbols and runes of power. Each gate will take you to a part of the world of Lacuna, though I know not where, explains the old man. Apparently, abruptly he turns around and sets off down the hill, babbling to himself. His voice fades as he descends the hill, leaving you alone with the brooding stones and howling wind. There are 3 stone gateways engraved with ancient runes. Each gate is marked with a name: Yellowport, Marlock City, and Wishport. From here you can see the coast, and the whole island, which is heavily forested. Can I look at the map, please? My map? Is this the map? Ship's manifest. Oh, we gotta have a ship. I know there was lots of things we did get to do in the old books. Quest log. Okay, nothing there just yet. I'd like to explore the island a little further. I hope I don't starve to death. You decide to explore the island further and ponder where to go next. You have a clear view from the top of the hill of the northern parts of the island, and you notice a previously unknown to you road that snakes along the cliff tops. Look, we might be able to find some fresh water. So, we have a forest, we have some coastline. Let's go take a look in the forest, because this will take us to cities on the mainland. Ability checks. Roll 2 dice and add your score to the given ability. To succeed in a task, you must get higher than the difficulty. I see. The trees are closely packed, leaning together as if in conference, whispering quietly among themselves. Birds twitter in the distance, and slivers of sunlight lance down through the musty gloom. As you proceed along the forest track, you think you hear a rustling in the bushes. Later you spot a shadowy figure darting through the trees. Or was it your imagination? An animal's snuffling sound right behind you makes you spin around, but there's nothing there. Let us test our scouting. Roll the dice. Oh, that looks good. We failed! Oh, the 10 turned into a 3. Yeah, that's not a good deal. Okay, this could be bad for us. Soon you realise you are completely lost in this strange magical forest. You wander around for days, barely able to find enough food or water. You've taken 2 points of stamina damage. You eventually stagger out of the forest to the coast. I see. Well, let's go down to the coast. Like Wordsworth, you know, I must go down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and the sky. And all I need is a good ship and a star to guide me by. Yeah, apparently our boat wasn't a very good ship in the beginning. So, you make your way around the coast. The interior of the island appears to be heavily forested. After a while, however, you come upon a bay in which a couple of ships are anchored. A small settlement nestles on the beach. Let's go say hello and hope they're not pirates. A trading post, you say? We have shards. This could be a good idea. While in town, you can click on the icons to visit different locations, such as temples, the local inn, the harbour, and so on. I like the treasure chest. You've found an abandoned house. You can claim it as your own. Click on the chest icon to access your personal storage. I like that idea. The trading post is a small village set up here by enterprising settlers from the mainland. Its main export appears to be furs from the forest. The mayor, a fat, genial fellow who greets you personally, insists that one day the trading post will be a thriving town. There's not a lot here yet, however. A small market, a quay, the settlers' houses, and a shrine to Lacuna, the huntress, goddess of nature. We should visit the Shrine of Lacuna. We're a religious character after all, right? House stash, yeah, we got nothing in there, that's fine. Move items from our inventory down here into the house stash. You can move them up and down. There's even a hotkey to help. So, explore, quayside, inn, market. We should go to the temple first before we spend money. You want to see how the divine is represented in this setting. In this settlement, let us visit the Shrine of Lacuna. There's a Temple of Nagil as well. We'll visit the Shrine of Lacuna first. The shrine is set in a wooded grove. Birds twitter in the trees and a deer darts away into the forest at your approach. A priestess is tending a low altar where food and drink has been laid out in honor of Lacuna, the goddess of the wilderness. She is the patron of hunters, trappers, woodsmen, and all those who seek oneness with nature. So we could become an initiate of Lacuna. Seek a blessing. So that would be Lacuna's blessing. Talk to the priestess. Yes, let's do that. The priestess, dressed in silken robes and wearing a wreath of oak leaves, says, I have need of an adventurer like yourself. For arcane reasons involving the secret mysteries of Lacuna, I need the tusk of a boar. A were-boar, in fact. Hunt down one and bring me its tusk. In return, I will teach you how to be a better scout. Now, it does seem that we're going to spend a lot of time in this large open world setting, travelling around from one place to another. This is dangerous, but let's accept the mission. You accept the priestess's mission. Now, we should probably become an initiate of Lacuna if we're going to go into the forest hunting for a were-boar. Becoming an initiate of Lacuna gives you the benefit of paying less for blessings and other services the temple can offer. It costs 30 shards to become an initiate. You cannot do this if you're already an initiate of another temple. We do not have the shards. Let us leave the temple. A blessing might be worth looking into, though. I would like to visit the Temple of Nagil. Nagil is the lord of the lands of the dead, and his temple in the trading post is covered in friezes and gargoyles of ornate design, depicting the souls of the dead on their journey to the underworld. Inside it is cool and dark, hung with black velvet drapes. A scroll tacked on the wall reads, Wanted, person of unusual resourcefulness, see Temple Warden. I suspect that would be good for some kind of thiefy type of character. But let's visit the Warden anyway. The Warden is in charge of security. We have had an unfortunate accident, he says worriedly. In the crypt below the temple, we sometimes experiment with the corpses of the dead. You know, the occasional zombie, part of the rituals in honor of the particular aspect of Nagil we revere here. It seems a ghoul has escaped from these pits and is terrifying the villagers at night. We'd rather someone like you sorted the problem out before the militia got to hear of it. Destroy it and bring me the ghoul's head. Absolutely. That's the kind of religious mission we can get behind. And I see something marked on the map there. You take up the mission. Search for it at night, says the warden. I will definitely be looking into that, but first off, explore. There's a helmet there now. I don't remember that being there before. Let's go to the market and see what we can purchase for our shards. And it looks like virtually nothing. Okay, we get some bolts and arrows, sling stones. Well, sling bullets, rather. So they're made of lead instead of being stones. A compass? Oh, that compass is expensive. Adventuring lantern? I mean, these things are all very nice and very expensive. Okay, let's see. Weapons, just to break it down individually, see if there's anything handy. It'll be good to be able to compare this to what we're using already. I think we already have leather. These are nice. A mandolin trinket. Depending on your skill, yeah, we're no minstrel, I'm afraid. And okay, nothing there, unfortunately. Right, search to buy. Oh, what a... Wait. So these are the prices they would pay for things? Oh, these are the things they're looking for. These are got to be the things they're looking for. Right. Okay. We could visit the inn and check out for gossip and rumours regarding the ghoul. Let's explore. You set out that night on your quest to find the ghoul. Test your magic. Okay, so we're looking at a 7. 41.7, that don't feel right. 3 plus 7 is 10, right? Hooray! Successful magic check. Your arcane Blah! That's what I get for recording at nearly 5 in the morning, eh? Your arcane knowledge tells you much about the undead. Ghouls are known to eat the flesh of the dead as well as the living. They like to make their homes in crypts and graveyards, as they never venture out during the day, as sunlight burns their pallid undead flesh. Also, they cannot abide the powder of salt and iron filings mixed together. You can purchase these ingredients for 15 shards at any market stall. I've got 16 shards. This is... You know what? I'll do it. Don't forget to click on the item in the loot chest to transfer it to your inventory. There we go. Click on the icon on the bottom left of the screen and press I to access your inventory. Let's... Yep, salt and iron filings. Should I put these anywhere? No. Right click on them. I'm not going to drop them. Well, there we go. When you're ready, you set off to search the cemetery near the trading post. Scouting, looking at a 5. Successful. The trail of gruesome murders and tales of terror leads you to an old cemetery, and the militia haven't found out about this yet, in a near-deserted part of the old quarter. It is early morning, a few hours before dawn, so you haven't yet much time before the ghoul goes into hiding. At the gates of the cemetery you find a small girl hunched over, sobbing. When she sees you, she backs away terrified. I hope she's not the ghoul. Hey, we're doing well here. You convince her that you mean her no harm. The little girl tells you that she was placing flowers at the grave of her father when a horrible monster came for her. Fortunately, she was able to run away. She points to a large tomb behind which the thing was hiding. You tell the girl to go home, and then you set out warily for the tomb. Suddenly a foul stench fills your nostrils, and a figure rises up out of the shadows. Yellow eyes glow with feral bloodlust, and the creature's talons, encrusted with dried blood, reach for you hungrily. You found the ghoul, and I will use the salt and iron filings. As fast as you can, you lay out a line of powder in front of you. The ghoul gives a moaning wail and shrinks back, unable to cross the line of salt and iron filings, and now he won't be able to go back to the tomb, and he should perish when the sun comes up. Quickly you run around the ghoul, encircling it with the powder. The creature lunges for you, but it cannot cross the line. You keep it at bay at every turn. Soon it is completely trapped. Casually you sit on a tombstone and wait for sunrise. When it comes, the ghoul is burnt to a crisp, and I get a ghoul's head. Its jaws still twitch unnervingly from time to time. You take the rotting charred head and make your way back into town, where hopefully I shall be rewarded. Yes, back to the Temple of Nagil, where I shall visit the warden. "You did it!" exclaims the warden, happily taking the ghoul's head and placing it in a jar. "It's time for your reward. You can choose only one of these 3 rewards. An amber wand, which gives me +1 to magic, 500 shards, or a free resurrection deal." Alright, let me think. The role player in me is saying the +1 magic is the best. Going up from a 3 to a 4 is the best thing for me. The fact that I've only got 1 shard and I've spent 15 already is telling me 500 shards is a good offer. A free resurrection deal would mean if I die, I get resurrected at this temple. And it's free. I had to pay nothing for it. I suppose the question is, would a normal resurrection deal cost me around 500 shards? I'm going to use the stone portals on the top of the hill soon to leave this place. When I visit another location, I will need money. But the wand is really nice. Where would the wand go? Would it occupy a... Would it take up a weapon space? I need to know if it's replacing my wooden staff. Also, I want to see if the graphics change when I equip it. I'd imagine, based on the price of the game, they probably don't, but it would be nice to maybe see a little bit if we get like a suit of armor change. I don't expect we'll see a lot though, because these are nice archetypal images. They suit the characters well. Oh, decisions. I am going to live dangerously and take the wand. There we go, it's a trinket. You hope the faint buzzing is arcane energy, not the strange insects captured within. Let us absolutely equip that. Where does it go? Up here, that is perfect. And now our magic has been increased. Let's return to town. So, quests. The Sacred Tusk. I think it's going to involve going into the forest and trying to find the boar again. The +1 scouting is good. If I ask for a... What's this? What are you pointing at, game? Click on the compass button on the mini-map at the top right corner of the screen to open your world map. Important quest destinations will be marked on this map. Yes, please. There we are. So we're here. There are no important quests. The wereboar is apparently less important. Let's go try and deal with it, though. So, once again, there's an animal sniffing around. We make a scouting check. Oh, failed by 1, so we need to beat it. Okay. We've lost 2 stamina. We'll try again. Nope. We have to leave. Okay. Why? Why can't we go to... Ah, there we are. Right, let's make a move and come back down here. Come on, it's a 7+ on 2 dice. That's an average roll. There we go. You struggle deeper into the forest until you come to a thick wall of impenetrable thorn bushes. Circling it, you find there is a break in the hedge, but it is filled by a large tree. To your surprise, a face forms in the trunk and speaks in a woody voice. "None can pass. Begone, human." I'm going to try to persuade it to let me through. You explain what a tree lover you are, and that your heart has always been at home in the forest. You portray yourself as the greenest adventurer ever. And I've got to roll a 6+. 7+, because I've got to beat it. Oh, damn it, I've failed. "Oh, what a load of rotten leaves," exclaims the tree. "Anyone can see you're as bad as the next human. In fact, I'd say you're probably a lumberjack, or lumberjill for that matter. Now get lost." Very well, I'll leave, and I'll try to come back later. For now, though, let's go back to the trading post. We have failed, unfortunately. Let's go along this coastal road and see what I can find. You're on the coastal road that snakes along the windswept cliff tops to the north of the Isle of Druids. It's a straight roll. You meet a militia patrol. Well, I hope they don't cause us too much trouble. A troop of militiamen comes marching along the road. A burly man of arms. Yeah, not man-at-arms. I'm too used to that being the correct term. A burly man of arms with wild hair is leading the column, a wicked flail in one hand and a shield adorned with a black boar in the other. He's not the were-boar, is he? Seeing you, he stops and waves his men to a halt. His little eyes squint at you from beneath the bushy brows, and it seems to you his fat nose wriggles for a moment as if sniffing the air. "Ah! My mistake," the man finally grumbles. "Thought you might be one of them poachers infesting these woods. Lousy murdering lot they are, but you don't look the part. Keep your eyes peeled on the road, traveller." The militiamen continue on their patrol, and soon you're alone on the road again. I'll try back in the forest. You never know. I could get really lucky. I need to get that stamina back up at some point, so I will scout. Please, yes. I will attempt to persuade the tree because I've got to... Yes! Well, I suppose I could let one such as you through," says the tree thoughtfully. Then it uproots itself with a great tearing sound and shuffles out of the way. "There you go," says the tree. "You may pass." You walk through the thorn bush gate. Beyond, you find several huge oak trees whose branches are so big that they are able to support the homes of many people. That doesn't mean there are people here, does it? It might. The City of Trees. Oh, wow. I think it does. "A welcome to the City of Trees," says a passing woman dressed in the garb of a druid. The city has been built amid the branches of several mighty oaks. Ladders run up and down the trees to houses that perch like nests in the branches. You are not allowed into any houses, but the druids allow you to barter at the market. So we have a marketplace where we probably can't afford anything. These items look fairly similar. Ooh, silver holy symbol. We want one of those. Amber wand. I mean, we don't need that, because that would be increasing our already high sanctity, whereas this is increasing a low stat. Animal companion, books and scrolls, and mark as prey, but these look like skills. Skill books that we could learn, maybe? What's this? The Druid's leader. You are brought before the Druid's leader, the Oak Druid, a bearded fellow with earth and leaves all tangled up in his hair. He asks you to perform a service for them. "Take this oak staff to the Willow Druid in the forest of Larue. The sacred grove where he lies will be hard to find, but I'm sure you can do it. The Willow Druid will give you something to bring back to me. When you return with it, I will make your techniques of tracking and your wilderness lore better. And I think Laroon is not even on this island. You accept the task at hand. You remind yourself to take the oak staff on the way out. Absolutely. Right, I'll be on my way then. I'm not seeing this werebore, and I could have sworn it'd be around here somewhere. Let's go... Wait. Its bark twists and intertwines as if to depict some strange arcane symbols. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. That's unfortunate, isn't it? One moment. Well, I'm having difficulty finding this werebore, but I'm pretty sure it's on the island. So, I can't go back to the forest just yet. And I can't ask the Druids about it. Let's try this coastal road one more time. Attacked by highwaymen. Attacked by a werebore. Oh, let's keep trying on the road. Attacked by a highwayman. Oh dear. Two brigands leap out from hiding and menace you with their swords. One is behind you, one in front. Give it up, they advise. Money's not worth getting killed over. Yeah, look, about the money thing. This runoff would probably be scouting, I want to say. Not sure I'd be very good at that. Look, I've only got one coin. There we go. You hand over your money. The brigands count it and give a sullen grunt. Money's worth collecting, says one, spitting into the dust at his feet. I don't know, says the other. After all, it's free money, isn't it? They dive into the woods bordering the road, leaving you to trudge on ruefully towards your destination. That destination being a werebore. So I want to go back to the obsidian stones, explore the island further, make a move, keep trying for that werebore, I suppose. Meet some militiamen. A troop of militiamen comes marching along the road. A burly man of arms with wild hair is leading the column, a wicked flail in one hand and a shield adorned with a black boar in the other. The militiamen don't seem to even notice you, so you continue on your journey. That's fine. I wanna... Fortunately, I don't seem to be starving to death. Come on. Come on, you werebore. It's going to happen eventually. So, more militiamen. We'll go back to the trading post. And if we keep walking up and down that road, eventually the werebore may strike. He may decide we are a vulnerable and penniless prey. Attacked by highwaymen again. Oh, this isn't going to end well. We got no money. Wait, can we give them our non-existent money? We can! The developers might want to fix that. I suppose they say, look, poor sod ain't got no dosh, let her go. Can we get the werebore? Attacked by highwaymen again. Look, we got no money. So at this point, it might be nice if there was some system for militiamen. That's fine. For going, look guys, we've had this encounter often enough. Because could encounters be exhausted or removed? I'm not sure. Could encounter chances be tweaked? Probably not. See, the only problem is having to come back to a location. Okay, more militiamen. Look, we're seeing the militiamen more than the highwaymen, okay, so that's alright. I mean, I suppose it's a question of how much am I willing to... More militiamen, that's fine. Keep doing this, and I think I really need the reward. Just to finally get something. Highwaymen, we have no money. we could attempt to fight with home, and I don't believe that's a good idea. So it's my understanding that hopefully the developers will begin to add in more books from the series. Okay, meet some militiamen, that's fine. So it would be nice to be able to stay in the same area and repeat the event again. Because otherwise it's just lots of going back and forth, isn't it? I'm trying to remember how to recover stamina. Okay, we meet the soldiers again, that's fine. And for now, we just have to hope we survive. Really? Meet the militia, that's okay. This might take a bit of a while. So, let's think. Currently, Omule, our priestess, is rather down on her luck, and you know, these Homen are getting really familiar with her and going, "Oh, you're not even worth robbing, you." But they like come check her pockets every now and again, just in case she happens to have some money collected from church donations or something. Look, she's got no money. Here's all of my no money. You'd think they start getting a bit fed up with her and tell her, "Look, stop coming on this road or we'll give you a right beating. Maybe one of us is a werebore in disguise and we're going to jump out and get you." And bizarrely, she kind of offers a sad half smile and says, "Oh, perhaps that would be nice." I could go back into the forest, but I think there's not a lot to do in the forest at the moment beyond trying to get into the more militiamen. It's okay. Wow, the dice really don't like me tonight, do they? Fortunately, I don't seem to be, you know, suffering from the repetition. There's no starvation, no exhaustion mechanic. There's not like once you've been here so many times, something bad will happen. And in a beginning area, that's kind of okay. Finally, we are attacked by a werebore, and it's probably going to murder us. A werebore in ornate armour comes thundering out of the undergrowth near the road with a raised spear. There's no chance to retreat or surrender in this battle. Let's fight! And try not to die. So obviously this is going to be an interesting way of gamifying the combat experience. Because, back in the day this was handled very simply. Combat plays out in rounds, with each combatant taking their own turn. Everything you do costs action points. Understood. The order of portraits at the top of the screen from left to right determines in what order combatants take turns. Now the fact we have a battle map implies that a lot of times we're facing multiple combatants, whereas in the gamebook it was often single foes. So that might be an adaptation. Left click on the ground to move. Once an enemy is in range, indicated in red, left click on it to attack. Remember to keep an eye on your action points in the bar on the top left. What is the range? 3. Range 4. Costs 4 action points. So I could go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, I definitely want to go here. This is going to hurt like hell. No, I don't. Okay, I'll discover that it costs me 2 points to move each hex, and there comes a boar. You can use special actions in the action bar. I'm absolutely about to. I will curse this boar. Werebore, feel the wrath of the unspecified gods that I worship and serve. And now I'm going to back off. Now, I would like to deal a lot of damage to you. With the cleansing flame of the divine powers. That was beautiful. The creature's armour is too heavy to suit you, but you can take a hunting spear and a boar's tusk. Grab your acquisitions and continue onwards. With taking that werebore tusk and the hunting spear, I'm going to check that. That might be good. I'm going to make a move. But first off, I'm going to say, how does this compare? That's +1, 1 to 7, 6. +1, 2 to 5. Right, so 1 to 7 is a broader damage range, but 6 action point cost is more more costly, right? 5 action points will give me 1 point left out of my 6 action points. There's not a lot I can do with 1 action point. 2 to 5 is a narrower damage range. Range of 2. Range of... Okay, so a smaller damage range, a greater reach, and a lower attack cost. And predictably that didn't change, but that's okay. So let's put you... No, that's a quest item. I was going to go like weapons... Oh, wait, quest... No, so I'll swap those. And now let's go back to the trading post. And visit the Shrine of Lacuna, where we will talk to the priestess. The priestess, who is wearing the skin of a wolf and is covered in red paint, welcomes you gleefully. At last, the tusk of a wereboar! Now the ceremony can go ahead. The priestess rewards you with knowledge. Gain 1 scouting permanently. Is this picture related to scouting? These do not appear to have individual icons, so I'm going to presume this is more to do with, like, you've become a more powerful adventurer. Look at this helmet, it's great. And now let us leave the temple. We can't afford to go... We'll go down to the quayside anyway. Passage to Yellowport, 15 shards. So that would be a really good way to just leave town and go, we're not going to deal with the ghoul, we're not going to deal with the wereball, we just want to get to the mainland and go on. How do we gain a rank? I think it's like do a whole load of stuff and most of the stuff in this area, because there's a lot into it, right? I don't see some kind of experience meter ranking up, because in the books I believe it was literally like, you know, dual. I think Golnir and Sakara was the first book, and then like Old Harkuna and Utaku was a second book, and then we had like the Great Steps was a third book. Was that the Howling Steps or something? But yeah, so each location is a book. What's this? That is go visit the Druids. Got it. So Yellowport, Marlock City, and it wasn't that place, was it? So I think Yellowport is the one to go for. So let's step through one of the archways. You intend to step through one of the archways? Yes, I do. Apparently I can't step through the Wishport arch, which would imply that it's not ready yet. So I'm thinking, Yellowport, book 1, Marlock, possibly book 2, but no, I don't think so. They're both book 1. Right, Yellowport it is. You step through the archway. Immediately the symbols on the stone begin to glow with red-hot energy. Your hair stands on end and your body tingles. A crackling nimbus of blue-white force engulfs you, and the sky darkens and thunder and lightning clash and leap across the heavens. Suddenly your vision fades and everything goes black. When your sight returns, you find yourself at the gates of a large city set on an ochre-coloured river. A vile stink of brimstone permeates the air. You wrinkle your face up in disgust and gag involuntarily. "Welcome to Yellowport," says a passing merchant. In other words, you'll get used to the smell if you stay long enough. Yellowport is the second largest city in Sakara. It's mainly a trading town and is known for its exotic goods from distant Ankon Konu way to the south, which might be another region we can explore in the future, depending on how well the game does, how popular it becomes, and how much funding the developers get to add more regions. The Stinking River brings rich deposits of sulfur from the Lake of the Sea Dragon down by the town, where it is extracted and stored in the large waterfront warehouses run by the Merchants Guild. From here, the mineral is exported all over Harkuna. Unfortunately, all that sulphur has its drawbacks. The stink is abominable, and much of the city has a yellowish hue. The river is so full of sulphur that it is virtually useless as a source of food or of drinking water. However, the demand for sulphur, especially from the Sorcerer's Guild, is great. Politically, much has changed in the past few years. The old and corrupt king of Saqqara, Corin VII, has been deposed and executed in a military coup. General Grieve Marlock and the army now controls Saqqara. The old council of Yellowport has been indefinitely dissolved, and a provost marshal, Marlowe's Marlock, the general's brother, nepotism, appointed as a military governor of the town. To leave Yellowport by sea, buy or sell ships and cargo, go to the harbour master, to do any of these things, click on this stuff over here. There are 4 temples! There's a Gold Dust Tavern, a trade. We could go there and get robbed, I suppose. We've got no money. We'd better go visit some temples, I suppose. Although, we want to get over to here, don't we? No, here. We could theoretically do that without leaving town too much. Okay. You're standing in the middle of the Plaza of the Gods, where all the temples stand in Yellowport. Let's visit the Temple of Makkah. The Temple of Makkah, the terrible goddess of disease and famine, is a large underground chamber accessible via an ornate entrance in the middle of the Plaza of the Gods, where all the temples stand in Yellowport. Down below, the walls are bare earth. The ceiling is covered in the roots of growing plants, but Makkah is also the goddess of the harvest, who must be kept happy, or else disease and famine will strike the people, their crops, and their livestock, bringing ruin to all. I can become an initiate, renounce her worship, seek a blessing, ask to be cured of a disease or poison, or leave. There are no quests here. Let us visit the Temple of Elner. The Temple of Elner is an imposing edifice of grey stone inlaid with yellow marble. Elner is the god of the sky and of kingship. He is the ruler of the gods. His dreams are the clouds before a storm, says a passing priest. Elner must be quite unpopular right now with the king having been deposed in a military coup. Would seeking a blessing possibly open up a quest? The Temple of Alvira and Valmir. The Temple of Alvira and Valmir is built like an upside-down galleon. Alvira and Valmir are brother and sister, king and queen of the land beneath the waves, masters of the sea. Their servants and soldiers are the souls of the drowned, and when seas are rough and storm-tossed, sailors say that Almir and Valmir are arguing again. Let's talk to the High Priest. The High Priest tells you that the golden net of the twin gods has been stolen. The repulsive ones have taken it to their palace beneath the sea in the sunken city of Ziusudra. The repulsive ones worship the fish god Oannes, who struggles with Alvir and Valmir for control of the sea. We must have the golden net, or the repulsive ones will use it against us. If you return it to us, we will reward you, says the High Priest. The sunken city lies under the coastal waters off the Shadar Tor. I will absolutely accept this mission. Now, I will leave the temple. I know for a fact from past experience that going to Shadar Tor, it's possible. I've done it before as a priest, but it requires a really hard check on a stat that the priest does not have very high to begin with. I'm not sure if it was magic or thievery or scouting, but it wasn't easy. So I'm suspecting that now is not the time. I should return later when I've gained a little more experience. I'm probably not going to get a little more experience. But can I go towards this grand forest? Trefoil. Wait, let's see. I'm wanting to go North of Saqqara by Big Tower. So yeah, it's got to be up here, hasn't it? Let's head along the riverbank. But what else can I do in Saqqara? I have no money. Yeah, this is all going to end badly, isn't it? Okay, do I have anything valuable I could sell? I could sell my old staff. I believe I will. Wait, market, trade guild. So trade guild would be more like investing. So searching to buy. Could I sell this? Like, you know. I can. I have shards. I am wealthy. Temporarily. It won't last. Wow, these are really expensive. Okay. Well, now that I have some shards, is there like some rations or food that I can purchase? Rat poison. Oh yes, there's a quest to deal with that. Yeah. There's a quest in Yellowport to do with rats. Where would that be? Would it be the trade guild? It could be. The provost marshal. Probably not a good idea to visit him right now. Wait, we have a house again? Let's just leave for now and head north along the riverbank. Uh-oh. You're following the course of the stinking river, and it certainly does stink, laden with sulfur as it is. Let's roll a die. Nothing bad happens. That's great. Let's go to this roadside tavern as we head towards the woods. It's where we want to go. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Karan Baru. The traffic mostly consists of convoys and troops and supplies. Eventually you come to the Weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here you can recover 1 stamina point if injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded score. I will spend 1. I really want to spend 2. Lose 1 shards. We're at the Weary Pilgrim Tavern. I'm going to do that again. And then I'm going to depart. Actually, with the money I had, I should have spent all of it. But the Forest of Larun. We have a druid to meet. The Forest of Larun is a mighty swathe of densely packed trees. A slice of primordial nature in the middle of busy, industrious Saqqara. You thread your way through the ranks of trees. In places, the forest canopy almost blocks out the sunlight completely, and you are wandering in deep shadow, haunted by the cries of the creatures of the forest. I will seek the Willow Druid. Well, look, if we succeed, he gives us, like, a +1 scouting or something, so you're on a quest to take the oak staff to the Willow Druid who lives in a sacred grove somewhere in the forest. You wander around looking for unusual tracks, strange creatures, anything that might lead you to a druid's den. Hooray! You come across a forest glade. Birds twitter in the trees and woodland animals frolic playfully about. In the middle of the glade stands a mighty willow, ancient beyond reckoning. The trunk is hollow and a wooden door has been set into the entrance. You step into the glade. Yeah, what if the tree is the druid? Oh, lovely! You are pious enough to be allowed to enter the sacred grove. You step in and knock on the door. A kindly old druid opens the door and greets you. You hand him the oak staff. "Ah, thank you," says the druid. "An oak staff, eh? That's an interesting message, to be sure." He hands you 50 shards as payment, and a willow staff, saying, "Please take this staff to the Oak Druid in the City of Trees, on the Island of Druids. I'm sure he'll reward you too. Good day, and thanks again." You know, this looks like it could be quite a profitable venture. Let's go back. Let's go to the main road. The road is nearly blocked by wagons and supply convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men bang heads indiscriminately to clear people out of the way. We might get bashed on the bonds. We're mistaken for a beggar? You're mistaken for a beggar and given 10 shards by a passing priest. Well, I'm sure the gods will put them to good use. I will go back to the roadside tavern, the Weary Pilgrim Tavern, where I will rest until fully healed. And then, after I depart, I will return to Yellowport, where I will take passage to the Isle of the Druids. A bark heading for the Isle of the Druids to buy furs is preparing to take you. Cross off 15 shards. The journey across the Sea of Whispers is uneventful, and you dock at the trading post on the island a week or so later. Arriving at the Isle of the Druids. Ooh. Is there good armor here? No, there is not. I'd have to go back to the mainland to try and get better armor. A mace would be nice to mash up people's faces. You know. Trinkets? Rope? You know, rope would probably be very useful. I will probably purchase that on the way back. But rat poison! I want the rat poison. It will come in incredibly useful. Right. Let us leave. Can I go straight here? No. Oh, I have to find my way back in. So, a scouting check to try and find the tree. Look, we're getting better at this, okay? You struggle deeper into the forest until you come to a thick wall of impenetrable thorn bushes. Circling it, you find there is a break in the hedge, but it is filled by a large tree. Not so much to my surprise. A face forms in the trunk and speaks in a woody voice. None shall pass. Begone, human. Oh, it's you again, says the tree grumpily. All right, off you go. The tree uproots itself and shuffles out of your way, leaving you free to visit the City of Trees once more, and I absolutely shall. Now that I'm here, I will visit the Druid's leader, the Oak Druid. You give the Willow Staff to the Oak Druid of the City of Trees. Thank you, the Druid intones. Thank you, the Druid intones. A Willow Staff, I see. As a reward, the Druids lets you train with the City of Trees' best hunters and tracking. We've gained another permanent point of scouting. We don't need levels at this rate. When you're ready, you can leave the City of Trees and return to the trading post. You know, I absolutely shall do that. Wait. I ain't ready. What can I buy? What can I sell? Give me stuff. Oh, yeah, it's all really expensive. Oh. Maybe I should save my money till I'm on the mainland, especially if I'm going to go buying rat poison. Yeah, let's do that instead. Let's go to the... I can go to the trading post, and I can get on a boat, and I can go back to Yellowport, or I can say, why should I pay 15 gold crowns 15 shards when I can step through one of the archways and go straight to Yellowport? Do not pass go, do not pay 15 shards. And there we are, back at the city of Yellowport. You know, I think that's a good point to leave the episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this initial venture into the Fabled Lands, and I look forward to having you all with me when we come back for another episode of this fine game. But for now, I'm going to say, cheerio everyone, until next time.